Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to a new episode, a new session of .NET Community StandUp, focus on .NET and AI. And hey, this is kind of a fun one because let me introduce myself. My name is Bruno. I'm part of the DevRel team at GitHub. My main focus / what I really like is .NET and AI. And this is a fun one because we have a lot of topics to talk about, but we build this on the fly. So you are going to see that we don't have a very structured procedure session today, but we have a lot of cool things to talk about. And I'm super happy because I'm also with Pablo and Jose Luis. Pablo, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. So, folks, hello once again. I am Pablo Lopes. I'm a cloud advocate in the same team as Bruno. What is our new team name, Bruno? It is the Agentic Workflow, Agentic Tooling .NET thing.
It is. I don't know. I am afraid to read it because I am not going to say it right. But yes,
I
it's
am part of the .NET.
something. I mean, it's super cool. We are moving more to the agent parts of the AI and the read code generated by agents and more. So it really makes sense. But it's still important to understand what we are generating and more. And this is what something the key pieces, and this is what we are going to talk today. Also, I'll try to at least share the news today. And we also have Jose Luis. That was also a fun addition because yesterday he said something super cool about I have this super nice and cool project about memory for agents and more. So, hey, do you want to talk about this? And Jose, he's always on for this kind of thing. So that's also like, this is a good one for you. Hey, Jose, how are you?
Hi, Bruno. Hi, Pablo. Thanks for inviting me here. It's always good to have you motivating me to clean up the repo I just launched yesterday, just because of the added attention.
Hey, yes, we see here Carl talking about agent. And by the way, Carl is here, and I am reading something that our super good friend Frank shared with me
Hey, Frank.
years ago about the Carl crawler car. I don't know. I don't even can say the name in Spanish, but it's an amazing set of books about this. But hey, let's start. Let's start about local AI. And I use, let me share my screen. I use share screen. I ask Cowork to generate. I have some ideas, some code. I'm going to do a Visual Studio Copilot Dev Days tomorrow. I'm going to talk about this in the office and more. But I said, okay, let's start to talk about local AI. And what I like about doing slides today is that they're not very good. I mean, a designer can do this better, of course, but they are so good on the sense that they will really represent what we want to talk, what is really the code that we have and more. So they are tied to the source of everything, to the truth of everything, which is the source code. So local AI. The top of this, the talk about this is, I'm going to do a couple of things, a couple of slides, and then switch to the demos. But since I think since everybody started to realize that tokens are expensive, that you need to pay for AI and more, everybody started to think deeper about how we can do local AI. And there are some advantages here. So you can run everything private, you can run everything locally. So the privacy is on your side, you can manage the cost, you can run them offline. But there is a big downside on that part is that local models are good, but they are not as good as cloud models. So don't think that if you run, I don't know, one of the latest crazy Gwen models or Phi models locally, you're going to have the same quality as a model on the cloud. On the other side, if you use Opus 4.8 for everything or Fable 5 for everything, you probably need a very big wallet to support that. So there is a balance there of what to do where. I don't know. If you are the type of person that said when you are working with Copilot, in example, and you said something like, in example, I don't know, run this application or push this to GitHub and more, you are wasting tokens in something that maybe a local model can do that. So we can get to a point where you can have a harness that is something that we are going to talk about later to do that. So, hey, that's important in terms of this. The cool part about that if you are in the .NET world is that it's been a year, 2 years, I really can't remember, but we have a very good set of libraries, foundational blocks to do AI, to do Gen AI in .NET. This is called the Microsoft extension for AI. And one of the key parts there is the iChat client. And of course, if we want to do agent, we have Microsoft Agent Framework. So you have there the AI agent, and then you can use it. And the cool part about the AI chat client is that there are different implementations. So if you want to use Azure Foundry with models in the cloud, and you want to use your GPT model, your Mistral models, your cloud model, or whatever you want in the cloud, you have there. If you want to use local, Ollama is one of the most popular one. But because most of the models per se support the interface that OpenAI, the OpenAI specification, you can literally run everything there. And Foundry Local, which is what we are going to see more today, it's one of the nice, I will say for .NET developers, it's very nice because it really switch your mindset of how you want to work with this. And what I like about this, and I'm going to show you some samples and you can test it later, is that there are two ways that you can run Foundry Local. You can install it like Ollama. Let us know in the comment if you know Ollama. Ollama is literally a super popular software that you install in Windows, Mac, or Linux, and then LM Studio is another. There are different ones like this.
Yeah.
Something that, yes, you install something, and then you say, Ollama, download this model. Something like that. I've been using Ollama for 2 years since it was released, and I'm a very big fan of Ollama. I don't know, Pablo, Jose Luis, are you using Ollama? Do you have any other local?
I am using lots of Ollama. And here's the thing, Bruno, I don't have a very powerful PC, right? So I did some tests with Ollama. So I have my personal PC. It's it's funny you say it's a PC because it's a Mac. It is a Mac, and there are reasons that I chose a Mac. And one of the reasons, the unified memory, right? The unified memory helps a ton on running those models. So, man, I love Gemma, Bruno. I know I am a Gemma fan. I'm a Gemma stan. So I actually do like some of the lighter models on the Gemma side. But I would say, man, I do actually have Ollama Cloud as well, because I really like using Kibi K27. I do like to use as well GLM 5.2. GLM 5.2 is crazy. It's crazy good.
I haven't tested GLM, but I know that people are very, very happy with that. And also people are happy with DeepSeek and other models. So what I like, we just released, we announced at Build, they are still not there to the public, but they are going to be there soon. The AX I own, I think it's Exion, I can't remember the name that we announced, kind of the next generation of 5 models that we have from research for local. And hey, they are great. And we have a question here from, I'm sorry, I'm going to not be able to say, Kanan was, I don't know, from Kana, I would say Kana, that, hey, when we talk about the AI, he basically, Kana said basically, we're talking about models who can drive a car, clean a green screen, play Dota, or he said about, hey, LLM, hey, up to you. When choose your own words. When I say AI in the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of other AIs. Check the previous videos and more. And literally, the last years is all about Gen AI. So yes, we mostly talk about AI in the sense of LLMs, SLMs when you are running local small language model, but you can still do your own models here. By the way, models who drives a car are more closest to the Gen AI model to the other.
Yeah.
But this is what we have. Yes, Pablo, sorry.
One of the things that folks, I know why folks get mad when we talk about AI and LLMs is because people now, especially the internet, are saying a lot of, hey, Gen AI is not AI. AI is a misnomer. Folks, spoilers, it's been called that since when? The 2000s. We called min-max algorithms Gen AI. Not Gen AI, AI. AI is a term that it is a subject in computer science. It is not it's a real artificial intelligence, because intelligence definition is hard. But I would say that, sure, we are talking about much of LLMs, SLMs, but I will say a thing to you. Take a look on SLMs. SLMs are actually really interesting, and you use your own PC. If you're concerned about a lot of the problems that LLMs can bring, take a look on SLMs. SLMs usually are much nicer on that, and you can do 70% of the things you want to do.
Yes, and by the way, it all starts here. This is the Ollama intro. We just talked about Ollama, but these are probably not the right. This is all generated code with a large language model, so I'm not sure this is right, but this is the idea. You create a chat client, an iChat client, in this case, an Ollama chat client, when you have a local URI, localhost 14, 11, 14, I can't remember. You define the model that you want to use, and then when you have the client to say, hey, chat, give me the streaming response or give me an answer more, and that's it. The nice part about this is that you can switch this for a model on the cloud or a model, another provider or another model or another. You can switch this for other stuff, and I really like it. And by the way, someone mentions here about using LM Studio rather than Ollama. I like LM Studio. What I like about LM Studio is that it allows you also to have more control on how you want to use a model. So you can define the context windows, the input and output. You can define how many concurrent requests is going to handle and more. So there are a lot of options here, and I will advise everybody to at least give it a look to what we have there. But what I really started to like, and this is what I wanted to share today, is Foundry Local. Foundry Local, we have, I can't remember when, I think it was a couple of months ago when we did the big jump of a new set of libraries, a new set of features and more, and it was not really there yet, but now they are there. They are really good on the sense that it works in two ways. You can install Foundry Local, and like Ollama or LM Studio, you install it, you start the service, you download the model, and you provide the model in the service. And then when you use your code, you basically said, hey, connect to this URL and give me access to that model, and then you have a model there and you use it. That's number one. The cool part about this is Foundry Local, depending on your machine and your capabilities, is going to, if you say, okay, let's use this Quen 2.5 model, and Foundry Local is going to test on your machine. You have a CPU, you have a GPU, you have an NPU, and depending on what you have, is going to download the best model for that scenario, which is kind of nice because sometimes you want to have one model versus the other. That said, there are big differences between how a model is created for CPU versus GPU and more, but usually Foundry Local makes a very good decision on that. So that's something that is cool. But the best part that I like is that there is another way to use Foundry Local for .NET developers, which is basically said, you use a library and you said, hey, Foundry Local, I want to use this model and I want to create a chat in the iChat client interface, iChat client to this model. And that's it. And the library that you are using in .NET is going to manage everything on your behind. So it's going to download the model the first time and it's going to save it on a cache. If the model is already there, it's going to say, okay, the model is there, I don't need to download, and it's going to load the model in memory, it's going to do the magic, and then it's going to continue working. And it's going to kind of start a hidden process somewhere there, so you don't need to load the model every time and more. So it's super powerful. It dynamically generates how the portal's working. This is still changing, so there are a couple of things that are going to change, but the cool part about this is that you can literally pack something in your application, if you're creating a .NET application example, and do not add, hey, install Ollama first and download this model and more. The Foundry Local library is going to do everything for you, and I really like it. So this is something that I really want to explain here, because there are two paths there. When you have the CLI, as I mentioned before, when you install a tool and the tool is going to expose there and more. But the second part, which I like, is that it will automatically try to discover if the model is already downloaded and it's running in one of the endpoints. If not, it's going to download the model, then it's going to load the model, and you can start the chat stream and more. And by the way, because this is all based on large language model or small language model or whatever we want to call it, you can even start to build on top of that with model that support tools and more, so you can create agents and more. And at the end, it's going to unload the model if you want, it's going to remove the model if you want, or it's going to keep it there with a kind of a lifetime timeout that if you don't use the model for 5 minutes, I'm making this up, it's going to automatically be unloaded and killed, and you can delete it from the disk. Or hey, it's super powerful and nice. And let me show you some code to do this, because we all like code and more. So
Bruno,
yes.
I got a question from Frank.
Yes.
Does Foundry Local work on our OS? Sorry. Does Foundry Local work on our OSs, like imagine Linux, Mac?
Let me see, because I have here the URLs that I want to. Sorry, I closed the URLs folder. So, by the way, all of the Foundry Local resources are here, and right now you can use these two models to run locally, embed AI in the applications, or basically you use the Foundry Local and more. And I will say, it runs on Azure Local, so Linux is there, Windows is there. And I will say that yes, you will have the chance to install this also on a Mac. Let me go to the CLI, which is in preview. So let's take a look here. So Windows and Macs, yes, it works.
Windows and Mac for the local CLI.
Yes, and I think Linux is, or maybe I already speak something internally and we are using this, and I'm not to say this. I know that there is a Linux version somewhere there, so you can also use it in
hot leaks,
Linux.
folks.
But
Hot
it's
leaks.
yes, it's going to come soon for sure. But yes, Windows and Macs are covered, and Linux, as I said, I think someone told us that the Linux is somewhere there. And by the way, it's something like this. It's Foundry. We can get installed Foundry in Windows. Let me open here a terminal and show you. I think I have it in this machine. Let me open an agent panel, which is going to be better. And let's do some Foundry version.
Oh, hey, here's John.
Hey, John.
Black Post says Linux too. See, brother, we need to be careful when we talk things like that. Because John is watching. He is watching with his vigilant eyes. If we leak something, we are dead.
When you say it like that, it sounds that, oh my God, John is watching.
John
we need to
is
be
watching.
careful. John is amazing. John is super nice. Yes,
I know.
John is watching. It sounds like, oh my God, John is watching and more. But yes, I remember I read about this, that this is Sam and Foundry Local and work, and you have npm pip and more. Yes, and somewhere here should say Windows, Linux, and Mac. Yes.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
I read it in an official blog post, not something internal. So thanks, John.
We are good.
But as I said, so you have Foundry here, and if I do Foundry model list, I think it was something like this. I will see the service started here in my machine and all of the models that I can install on my machine. And because I am working in my gaming laptop PC, you can see here that, where is the GPU? There it is. That I have access to my GPU and my CPU. If you are running on a laptop and you have NPU, it's going to access to also to your NPU and more. And it's nice because depending on what you want to use, you can see here that you have Quen models, you have Mistral models, Phi models, DeepSeek. So there is a lot of set of models that you can use. Important here, the models that we have here in the catalog are models that the Foundry Local team tested, and they are models that have the checks on being secure, portable, and more. So there is a lot of I think somewhere there is also documented how we choose which models are going to be put here. And by the way, we also have embedding models, which was something that we didn't have in the past, and it's super, super powerful. And here, if I do something like Foundry service status, I think it is, it will say that, yes, I have Foundry running locally in my port 6473. And if I do Foundry service stop, I think it's like that, and then do status again, it's going to say that is, I don't know if it's status start the service or not. It seems that it's going to start the service. Okay, fair. Just need to do start again. And what I wanted to show is that if you take a look here, the port of the service is dynamically changing every time. So it's not like Ollama that starts in the same port, or LM Studio that starts in the same port. This is going to automatically be generated. Why? Because if you embed Foundry Local in your application, and your application is using Foundry Local for A, and you have another application that is also using Foundry Local for B, another with C and more, each one of them are going to basically use this. But in those scenarios, I hope that you have a big GTX or whatever, NVIDIA or AMD graphic processor, because you are going to use a lot of stuff. That said, this is the only thing that you need when Foundry is running. It's going to, hey, connect here, and you have your models, and you have everything running, which I really, really like. So going back to the samples, there are two ways that we can use this. And if I go to sample and I go to the hello world, let me open one of the samples and let's be mindful with our colleagues. So this is a non-streaming sample. This is basically connected to an endpoint. And when we connect to the endpoint, this is what you have. You have a chat client where this is something that we have in chat clients. In this constructor, you need to pass an API, but you don't need an API. But you have the URL, the model that you want to do, and then you have a chat completion. That's it. That's the only thing that you need to do, which I really like because it's just a service running locally. The other part, the other way to do this is number six. Number 6, yes, where what we have here is basically we create a model, and then it's going to initialize. We create a client, a Foundry Local client, and it's going to initialize the SDK and the runtime, and it's going to create a Foundry Local manager. That's the name of the library, which, by the way, changed a couple of times. So I always said this in a different way. And when it creates the instance of the manager, we have a singleton running here. What you can do is, hey, you know what? Show me where are you running, show me your execution providers, and I want to run a model. So I am running here locally in this machine with GPU. It's going to say here in this machine, you have access to GPU and CPU, and then said something like in example, hey, get me the best GPU model for whatever. So my model alias here is going to run, and if the model is not there, it's going to download the model. If the model is there, it's not going to be downloaded, and once the model is downloaded, you can start to use the model with, again, an iChat client. So it's very nice. It's very easy to use. So let me go back here. Let's go to this one, and let's do Spire Stop. This is another sample. And let me go up a little of. So this is my running process, and as we .NET run, and as we see here when it's running, by the way, this is all samples. I'm going to share the repo there later, but what we have is creating a new Foundry Local execution provider, Foundry Local manager, then it's discovering the execution provider. So I don't have here, why I don't have any provider here? I should have at least the CUDA. I don't know. This is me playing with NVIDIA and CUDA, which is always a fun time. Then it's going to download and register the provider. Oh, no, I don't have any provider because I delete all of them for the demo. So it's going to register one, and then it's going to register the model. And as I said, the first time is going to take some time because it's doing literally this, registering everything. The second time is running like super fast. And once I have everything, it's going to answer the question, why the sky is blue. I don't know. I like it. And I also like it because while this one is working, if we want to do agents, because our excuse is talking about agents, you can, no, these are the tools. You can even do the same with agents. So you can create a model, you can do everything, you can do all of the Foundry, Local, Manager, and more. And then somewhere here, you will have the options, the lifecycle, the client, where you have the Foundry Local chat client adaptation. And then when you have the client, you can create the agent somewhere here. So we have the client. This is going to be built using functions because we have tools. So we have the agent client, which is literally there. So we have all of the pieces, and it works. Again, remember that you are working with a local model, so it's not as powerful as the big model. As the big models that you have in the cloud, but they work great. One of the things that I do here, let me stop this one here, it's going to take forever in the meantime. So let's do it clear, is that we have the, can't remember the number, let me go here. We have the iChat web sample. That's the one that you can create with the templates that we have, where you create literally a full RAG solution using models. And when you have the models, you can choose to use local models with Ollama and Docker, or models in the cloud. And here I updated this one to use literally Foundry Local. And hey, it works, and it's kind of nice on the sense that you have everything locally here. You don't need to install Ollama. You don't need to do anything. You just have your app somewhere here where we see the app. And if I go to the web application, this is all, by the way, pre-cooked, pre-generated here by the solution. I added here some controls to prepare the model, which is not downloaded yet, 5.4, so it's going to download the model, take some time. You can open the location of the model and more. After a couple of seconds, when the model is loaded, you can see that the model is loaded, and I can ask questions. The way that this chat works is they have two PDF talking about survival kits or a GPS watch, so we can ask a question. And when we ask a question about the GPS watch, because it's local and it's doing everything, it's going to take some time, but we will have an answer. The cool part is because we are using Aspire. Yes, we use Aspire a lot, and we have all of the traces here. This is probably the one that we are running right now. If we filter here by Gen AI traces, we started to see that we have the sparkles here. So we can take a look here at this one, and you see here that this is the first time doing the full process of embeddings. So this is feeding the in-memory database, the in-memory vector that we have with embeddings, and we take a look and say, okay, this is embeddings, take a look at the details, embeddings transformer, all mini LM, the model that we are using. So all of embedding information is here. And the other one is the one that we have right now that is basically asking the question. Oh no, this is the first one that is translating the embedding, the query to embeddings, and still doing the work to answer the question. But at any moment, we will have the answer here about that. I think the other Foundry is still probably on memory. So I have two Foundries running at the same time, and this is a nice machine, but it will take some time. Okay, there it is. This is the answer, and somewhere here.
What machine do you have, Bruno?
This is a virtual machine. This is a virtual machine, and I have an A10 here. So my GPU is an NVIDIA A10 that have 22 gigabyte and is shared the memory to 220 because this one has a lot of RAM. But when you share the RAM and you have this shared GPUs managing as RAM, it's not as fast as you expect. But hey, we have here running this. It's Bruno, a good machine to work with this. Yes.
We got a very nice question from Sarosh. What is the best local AI LLM to use with Ollama or Foundry Local and Visual Studio 2026 with 24 gigs of VRAM? I have a guess for you folks. I would believe is or would be Gemma 4 full, not full, but 26 billion because you can use in quantization 4. So maybe it would be that or would be Quen 3.6. With quantization 4. There's the very nice thing about quantization. Bruno, we need to do a content about quantization someday, which is what is the difference between floating point, quantized models.
That's heavy to talk on a Wednesday. I will say that Luis Quintanilla came here and talk with you about quantization. I use stuff. I don't want to. I already did that part. But
Come on, Bruno.
No, I'm on your side. I really like Quen. For me, when I was doing some code generation and more for C#, the Quen models in Visual Studio Code, I haven't tested in Visual Studio, but in Visual Studio Code works better on the tool calling. You know that Visual Studio make a lot of tool calling internally to do the grep, the read file, the analyze file. So the tool calling for me, Quen is a personal opinion, works better than Gemma 4. That said, I will probably need to do the same test on Visual Studio to see if the tool calling there is different or there are some nuances or whatever's here and there. But yes, today, those two are there. DeepSeek didn't work for me somehow, and I am a very big fan of this Seek local model. It missed a lot of tool calling activities.
I'll say one thing. DeepSeek Flash, like for Flash, is only good on high or X-high. At least that's what I heard. Like Flash, it is really good if you put on high modes as well.
Yes, and I know that in example, my friends here from Canada, from Cohere, they created a model to do local coding, agentic coding, which is very, very good, but you need kind of a NVIDIA N100 or whatever. You need a very big GPU to run that one. Maybe in the top level, maybe in your Mac, Pablo, is going to run.
This is only 16. This is only 16 gigs. I need a Mac Mini. I need a Mac Mini with 64 or 128, so I can run. For instance, GLM. You know how much GLM actually needs to run? It's crazy.
No, not as I said. GLM is in my to-do list yet.
I think it is like 756 gigabyte of integrated memory, right, Pablo?
Exactly. It's like a crazy. It's a crazy memory. Like even 2 bits requires 240.
But
Okay,
if you
so I
have
need to
that,
basically go to my neighbor's house that he has a gaming zone, and to the other neighbors, and to the other neighbor.
to
Get,
do your own server.
get 4 gaming PCs here in my house and stack it out. Okay. No, as I said, I need to put
well,
GLM.
that is the I think it's the top tier machine that was announced right by the NVIDIA. With that, you may use that, but probably that will cost about $100,000 or around that.
Yes,
Yeah.
that for sure. It's going to be a freaking expensive one. At the same time, it's going to be super powerful. And hey, we are all working on a small project where you can have some kind of local AI. When you are working with big projects, local AI that is going to say, okay, this is a simple task, and I'm going to run it locally. This is a big task, I'm going to go to Fable or GPT-5.5 or GPT-5.6 or whatever. So, hey, it's up to everything. And I know that we are in the middle of the session, so local AI, give it a try. If you are working with local AI or you want to do something different, take a look at Foundry. It's really, really, really good. And hey, I have here even, you have a lot of samples here in the official documentation, and I have here even the live transcribed audio. I don't know if it's working, but you can use Nemotron. I'm a big fan of NVIDIA models, and more people knows about that. I run this other series with NVIDIA people around models. And hey, you can have here, there is a sample here, which is the Nemotron model and more using the speech 06. This is a very small and powerful model, kind of a whisper quality. I think this is better in the numbers. And then they have this one, which is a bigger one, but multilingual. I have this sample here up and running. This is the number. Can't remember where is this number. I haven't run this, but the audio transcription is the number 5. So if I go back here and we do CD 05, let me see the files. There it is, program. So let's declare and let's do a .NET run. It should probably ask me permissions to use my microphone here. Oh, I need to download them. Oh, yes, because I did this in the, I need to have the model download. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. Or maybe while Jose Luis is working, I'm going to upgrade this to automatically download the model. But hey, this is a sample doing the recording and more. No, I need to do the recording. No, I think I did this with the microphone. I'm going to fix this with the microphone. But hey, you can even do that, and it works really, really great. And again, everything is ready to be used using literally 10 lines of code of C#, and it will manage the download of the model, the cache of the model, the release of the model. Everything is going to be done there, and it's great. So that said, let me stop sharing and let me do the quick intro. Why do we have Jose Luis here? Well, Jose Luis, if you want to share your screen and more.
Yeah.
We talk about agents a lot here. And we talk about, I really like to say that today, if you have an agent, it's more important to know what are, besides the model, all of the new models are great. We have the new Microsoft AI models, and there are GPT models. And all of the models are great. However, today, if you are building agents, the most important part is the harness. And the harness is what do you use to manage the agent, and this is where you handle the conversation, the retries, the loops, the memory security, and more. And the memory is a key part. And Jose Luis made an announcement yesterday about the project that I take a quick look and take a deeper look, and I really, really like. And I say, hey, man, do you want to come here and talk about this? And he said, yes. So here we are. So do you want me to share your screen, Jose Luis, to talk about agent memory? You are on mute.
Jose, you're on mute.
I'm not anymore.
Yay, you did it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I managed.
So here we are. So tell us about agent memory, and then we are going to also do a quick intro for what you are using there that we talked before we start, which I think is a very cool project.
Agent memory. It's basically a .NET native memory engine for AI agents backed by Neo4j. It gives agent 3 kinds of durable memory. It's a short-term, then this is for conversational history, long-term structure knowledge, like facts, entities, preferences, and then some reasoning memory containing previous steps and tool calls, right? The important difference from a normal chat history which is what the agent usually, if you don't do anything, it's storing with the default implementation, is that memories form a knowledge graph, right? And the agent can retrieve information through semantic similarity, full text search, temporal history, and explicit relations between things and facts, right? So you can make relational retrieval, like we humans do. It integrates with agent framework through an AI context provider and memory tools. It also supports semantic kernel. There is an MCP, which I have not played with it, the AI has, or direct .NET use. So it also works with Microsoft, what you showed before, Microsoft.Extensions.AI. Let's say also it's important, this is an independent community implementation inspired by the Neo4j Labs agent memory work. It's not an official Neo4j product or a Python port. It's a complete re-implementation, because a lot of things that were in Python basically do not exist in .NET. So there was a lot of work that I was not expecting there. The project is already, I would say, technically substantial, but still in early stage. Basically, I launched it yesterday. And just I launched it, I think it was 10, 20, 30 minutes, Bruno jumped in and said, hey, this is cool. Do you want to talk about that? Yeah, well, maybe it would be good to battle test it. So I've been since I say that, I jump in fixed mode. I ask my AI agent, please analyze these, find issues, find problems. And he gave me a list, my God, very long. You're muted, Bruno.
Before we move forward, and this is what I really like this one. People probably know the Mem Palace. The Mem Palace is a project that was very popular 2 months ago, I think. That it was created by Mila Jovovich, the actresses from Resident Evil and more. Yes, there. It's crazy story. But we are getting to a point that agents are not kind of a one-shot agent, where you have an agent, you ask the agent to do something, and then the agent forgot. The agents are probably going to be long-running agents or agent living all the time. And one key part there is they need to have memory. They need to learn based on what they are doing. They probably, based on the learnings, they probably are going to update their system prompt and they are going to reload this again. Foundry have this right now to improve an agent history and more. So all of this makes sense. And that's why these type of projects are very, very important in the sense that they are going to help us to create better models. That said, if you just want to do a translation in example or a summary, you probably don't even need an agent. You can do a LLM chat, and that's it. It's good for you. And a local model is probably also good for that, because local models are great with this. But if you want to do a long-running model or something, these type of processes are super important. So let's keep an eye and let's support this process and more. So sorry, but I want to give us a little more context of why the memory. And I like your implementation, and I like what you use as an inspiration and more, why this is important. And we have here, Janisco say, agent memoir. Yes. I'm not going to speak French because I don't want to offend any of my French people, what's happened yesterday. So I'm going to keep it like that.
But you live in Canada, right? French is official language, right?
Yes, it's official. Here it's official language. We have Frank. Frank can help us there.
Okay. I just share in the chat. I don't know if you have anybody has shared. Oh yeah, Pablo, you're fast. Super cool. Yeah, that I think that says it all. There are a few more reviews about.
Folks. Sorry, my PC froze. My PC froze for like 1 minute and a half. I was just listening to you folks, but I was like frozen in space.
All right.
But it worked. Okay.
Yeah. So what was I saying? I would say it's in early parts. I've been fixing a lot and improving, because there were some things which are not really there. Today they are. I left my agents working overnight, so a lot of it was done in a kind of a loop, which worked quite well. And I released version 1.1.0 some time ago, right? So I think what I say is pretty cool. Again, it's an independent community project, not an official Neo4j project. And
by the way, Jose, Can you explain what is Neo4j?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, we need to talk about Neo4j because we are using it here. In example, I've seen a lot of people use it, several people using it here and there. I don't know if everybody knows about that. It seems that I am the only one who was late to the party, but just in case, if you are like me, late to the party, let's talk about a little about Neo4j, and I will leave Pablo and Jose to handle this because, as I said, I am new to the Neo4j experience.
Yeah, basically, Neo4j is a graph database. Instead of primarily representing data as rows and tables, it represents data in nodes interconnected by relationships. So it's basically a graph, right? You may have a node which is Alice, a node which is Acme, and then a relation which is works at. So Alice works at Acme. So it's basically representing information the same way that we humans do, right? So in our head, think about relations, persons, objects, whatever, and we interrelate them. Basically, it's what our neurons basically do with some more strength or less strength. So it's mimicking the way the brain is working. So it's one of the things I like it. And it makes mapping information and knowledge very natural.
Yes, and by the way, we've been using graph for a long time. If you ever use the graph queries that we have, in example, in Microsoft 365 to query who we are or what are we doing in the company and more. So we've been using the graph ideas besides the standard database ideas for a long time. And somehow in the last couple of years or more, Neo4j becomes super popular. They have a very cool, very powerful C# SDK. You can also, in the nice part, similar to ChromaDB and more, you can install a Neo4j database, I will say. I don't know if it's instance or whatever, but you can run a container with Neo4j and it's run locally for you and that's it. And then you query and store and do everything there. So it's very, 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 there it is. You have 20 plus.
Basically, I'm running it, as you say, in a container. I have a Docker desktop, and I'm running here TCK, Neo4j, and that's what is running, empowering the current demo.
Yeah, so it's super ready to use. As a developer, you can use it and more. And correct me, keep me honest here. If I am wrong, please say it. Because it works on a set of standards, kind of OTEL is the standard for OpenTelemetry. They are the standard here. You can switch this Neo4j for whatever, something that is all graph standard or whatever is part of the documentation. So it's great. Or you can start local, move to the clouds. And hey, there are a lot of things that you can do. And as I said, it's super popular right now. A lot of people are using it. You can start local. We have our friend Said also doing a lot. He's an ambassador or whatever from Neo4j. It's great. It's a great product. So I like that you also build the agent memory on top of Neo4j because it really makes sense to, okay, the memory is a graph. So let's use a graph database for this.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. So basically, you have what it's called the schema, right?
Yes.
In this case, the schema, I took care to make it at the moment exactly the same or pretty compatible with the one from Neo4j. And by the way, hi, Said, if you're listening to this. By the way, before I started, I asked the people, hey, it's of Neo4j completely to my friend Said. After collaborating with Neo4j for a bit, I asked him, hey, it's okay that I implement this in .NET? And they say yes. In fact, I have a meeting tomorrow to see if they want this repo to be merged or how do they want to move it forward, right? So I have a meeting tomorrow with them, and then we will see.
So if the people wants to know more, can you go to your repo, to the README, and go to the quick start part? Because you have literally there. I already shared the link, but if you scroll down a little, you have in your or the Hello World sample that you have, there is a nice 10 lines of code where you do the
more than a Hello World, but I'll show you in a moment. So I have here getting started, right? And some documentation with the links to that. It works for .NET 9, 8, and 10. And it's basically for any Microsoft.Extensions.AI compatible, right? I even explain how to set the Docker container, how to install and use it, or to set the individual packages. And then some DI registration, which needs to be done, right? And yeah, the password is password. That's not fake, so it's the default password for the open source Neo4j. So please change that if you use it. And here is explaining how to use it, basically. So I won't go through the steps because we don't have the time, but here is everything explained. And also I think in down below explains a bit what status is, why to use agent memory, .NET. I think it's pretty important to understand this. And also it's important not to use any MCP driven because of the way that the memory is working, the determinism. So there is something very important to understand. I build this because first, I want to use this product for some ideas I have private, and I thought the best way to build it is build it in the open and share it. Same as done with some other projects like Agent Eval or Math Doctor. You know about them. I think we have yet to do also a Math Doctor session, I think. But this is the memory layer for that. And if I can look, should I explain a bit how memory works in Agent Framework? What is an AI context provider?
I mean, I like an example. Yes, Pablo, please go.
No, I'm saying I would like to know some examples on that.
Yes, because if you want, what I like, in example, if you have in your samples, in the agent sample, in the O2, the agent with memory, it's very easy. Let me do this. So I'm here in the repo, and this is the path where I am. So I am in samples, agent with memory, and the chat history memory. I like documentation, but I read the code. So I really like this. So we have here AI project, agents AI, extensions. So all of the stuff that we have and we like, and we are still using an in-memory from semantic kernel because this is how usually everybody goes there. We have all options here. So you are going to have a PR soon coming to change this for a new one. But hey, what I like is you have everything here, then you have the memory vector store. And this is great in the sense that this is how it's supposed to work. You have a memory store that's using embedding, and then you have literally what we just seen before, very similar, where you have a project. This is an AI project from Azure, where create a client, an agent, sorry, and we have some options, Joker, and we have the dimensions and the context, and this is yours. This is your memory provider, yes? José Luis?
Yep.
And I like because literally without knowing the libraries, I understand how it's working. You have the vector store here, you have a name, you have the dimensions, you need to do that, and then you have a state. And this is what I like to do because as far as I understand, this is going to be the kind of the search queries that we can do. So we can store memory and we can have, correct me if I am wrong, you can have general memory or memory that is attached to user, or memory that is attached to user and sessions. Is that correct? Did I understand it right?
It's a bit more complicated than that. So when you're looking now, it's a chat history memory provider, right?
Yes.
There is also the AI context provider.
Oh, okay.
So it's a different.
There are two memories there. There are two. Okay,
exactly.
Perfect.
Well, in fact, you have two types of memory. One is the chat history, right? Which is how do you handle the conversation state? And then you can have additional functions like if you're used to do AI development, you have the compaction, right?
Yes.
Which, hey, it says it's too big, then I compact it. So
that's because the compact part is important because we all care about how we want to have everything, just the necessary info that we have. So is the compact part of your agent memory? I haven't seen that. So you have a compact feature? I will say it.
No, you're asking me. No. I'm not managing these. So when you have a database, you have no limit.
Yes,
that's the nice thing. Simply what you do instead of storing them in text in lines, which is basically what it's doing, right? So it tells, hey, I want these lines from this one to this one to make a summary, and then it makes some summaries and stores them again in text in the chat, right? And then again, the agent is completely stateless. So basically what your application or agent framework is doing, so all the agent frameworks are doing that because of this standard, which is the OpenAI API standard. what we are doing is injecting again the summarize. Instead of all the thousands of lines, I send only the summary there. And that's the chat history memory.
Okay, that
Then-
makes sense. And one question there. So, I'm sorry, as you probably seen, that this is literally out of the box. I was so excited with this playing around. So I was, okay, I want to ask Jose this question. You have here a sample that work with with Foundry memory. This is basically when we have, let me go to my, oh no, I am on another, let me open.
Oh no, I almost opened ChatGPT, Bruno.
No, because I am in the profile for doing the stream, so I need to go.
I can share you the link, Bruno. I'm sharing you the link in the internal chat, or I can show the screen if you want.
Oh, yes, let me put your screen. Let me remove myself. There it is. Oh, this is what I want to. Oh, perfect.
So this is it. This is the context providers, right? So let me go up, conversations and memory. So you have part of the session. You can store the chat history wherever. You can store it even in Foundry if you want, right? And it can be held in different layers. But the nice thing where we create our custom memory is in the context provider. And this is a definite pattern, right? So we create an AI context provider, and you then inject your custom context provider. And this has two hooks, or two things that you have to implement. And it makes a lot of sense. It has a state. The state is the memory, yes, right? And this is going to be called twice in the lifetime of agent invocation. The first one is, I'm jumping it, in the provide AI context async. So what it does, this is called at the beginning, and it gives the query of the user. So I'm asking the agent, hey, what is my cat? And I've been talking about my cat, right? And it will go on the database or whatever I put or implement here on the memories, and then it will load the memories based on this query that the user did, the user or any agent. And it will give the memories and inject that in the context. And then the agent will execute with this additional context that this context provider has given it. Make sense?
Yeah, so that, okay, so the memory, the context, but that's the context provider, which is the memory provider. So you have some kind of, you probably have some features or function that basically ensure that the story is created. That's kind of a E101 that they already have right now. Then you have the delete, then you have the update. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and then, now I get it.
And then there's another part, because you may be telling it, hey, my cat is white, and her name was, she's not here anymore. Her name was Whitey, right? And then it will go to store AI context async, right? And then it will store in the memory these facts or set of facts that I've given it.
Yes.
It will check if it has information in the same of graphs. Jose's cat will look for Whitey and will add white and all the things that I tell. And it will store it. And the next thing is, if we stop this conversation and retake it again, and I tell it, hey, I'm Jose, right? It will be able to remember what we talk about. That's how memory works in agent framework. And that is what is important to use, not an MCP. Some memory providers work with an MCP, but MCP, it needs the agent to call it at the beginning, at the end. And sometimes that is very hard to get it done right.
Because you need to include the full MCP tool, whatever, in each one of the calls and whatever. So the context provider, when you add memory provider, concept provider, is not part of the MCP call. So it's not part of, oh, that's nice. I didn't, hey, that's new for me on the agent framework. And this is why we are also talking about agent framework too. I was completely sure that part was doing like, oh, that's cool. I need to clap.
That's nice.
Sean and all of the team there, because this is super nice.
Yes, it is. I think it's pretty cool. And this enables to call it the 2 times in a very determinist way. And it works super nice. By the way, the design is by Wesley Stein from the Microsoft Agent Framework team. So that's really, really good work done. I really love it, how this is implemented. And also you can add different AI context providers.
And how do the agent knows when to use what? When to
He
use
doesn't. He doesn't. The agent is completely unaware that this tool is there because he is not in control. It's the harness or it's on the code that you add around it.
Okay.
So basically, this is how we create a custom AI context provider, right? With this simple service provider. And I think here is a provider. Let me see if I can
man. Look who appeared, Jose, on StreamYard. It's Myra. Hey, Myra. Nice to see ya. Wow, I Bruno sent the Myra avatar, man. Oh, we should invite Myra to join the stand-up once. Bruno, what do you
Hey,
think? We should
I
invite
know.
Myra.
Somehow our account, the account that I am using, has Myra's picture there. Cannot change that. So
We should invite
yes,
Myra, Bruno.
every time that I turn off my camera, 1, 2, 3, magic, we have Myra
Wow!
there.
Okay.
Hey, Myra.
Just
Sorry
in
about
case,
that.
I will not turn off my camera. All right. So how we use it is, so when we create an AI agent, right? As an AI agent, we add simply a collection of AI context providers, and then we add the custom context provider. That's it. As simple as that.
Yay.
And that's the place that you hook the memory, the agent memory that you have. You have
Yes.
there, and you say the token. Oh, that's nice.
I can
That's nice.
quickly show a very short demo if you want.
Yes, we have 3 more minutes. So if you have
We
one
have
running,
2
let's go.
minutes.
Let's run through that. But now I get, hey, I learned something new. I like it.
That's why we love being with you, folks. The MVPs, the
And
folks
we
that
have
make that.
here some
I'm just
web
going
dev
to
question about, do we have short-term and long-term memory implemented?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
cool.
Yes, we do. Yes,
So
we
the
do.
answer is yes. Can you zoom a little? Sorry. Control
Yeah.
plus.
Let me. Is it better?
Yes.
It is. It is.
So basically, what I did here, I created a session, right? First, and it's a simulated user. I'm looking for
Running
shoes.
shoes.
And then here, what I tell it is show the memory visually and memory recalled, right? Because I added some memory before. Alice works at Acme Corp. Alice prefers that mode. User preferences. Lopes Nike prefers ISO seeds, etc. And one tool calls. Its product matches. Nike are Zoom, right? That's some tools. And then it tells it, hey, I know that you love Nike. Here are some great options for Nike running shoes under. So it gives a personalized question according to the preferences of the user, which it can remember on different talks. So if the user is authenticated, and one of the nice things here is that it has 2 scopes, user and at the moment application, right? So it can remember these 2 and isolate the user in a proper way. So here is the conversation going. Would you like more information? And then the session stops. So basically, I cut it and start a new session completely from zero. There is no chat history. And session B, brand new session, memory is durable. It still knows Amelia. Hey, I'm back. Remind me of what I was after suggesting something. Oh, and then it recalls. So this is the AI context provider making this work. No facts. Alice works at Acme Corp, prefers that mode, and preferences, Lopes Nike, prefers ISOs, etc. And you love Nike, I'm here to help you. Here are some popular Nike products that you could consider. And it gives some about the, what he says, running shoes under 150. And it tells a continuation, like it was talking to her right away, right? So that's the demo. By the way, this is the same demo that, or very similar. It's a port of the demo that is done in the agent framework, which there is a PR. So if it's accepted, then it will appear on the agent framework repository in short.
Oh, that's super cool, super amazing. Hey, sorry, we are at the end of the hour.
We are.
I will assume the last question. We have a lot of people, and I like one of the comments here. I mark it here, which is that we are going to need more and more customized AI for businesses, yes, this is what is going to make the difference right now. These harnesses using these kind of features are going to be the
Yes.
one that is going to really, really make the difference. So thanks everyone for being here. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks Pablo. Thanks Jose Luis. We can
My
talk more
pleasure.
about memory next time. And you have the links, you have everything. Please drop a comment, PR, and more on Jose's repo. Take a look at
Yeah.
Foundry Local. It's very, very powerful. And see
Yeah.
you all in a couple of weeks. Goodbye,
See
everyone.
you. Bye bye, folks.